When we look at building meals for our vegan child, we want to ensure it revolves around iron-rich plant foods. This is the one key nutrient I want you to always keep in mind when you're planning and preparing meals for your kids. I'm Karla Moreno-Bryce, a vegan, registered dietitian, and mom to a little girl. It wasn't all that long ago that I lacked the confidence to advocate for my choice in raising my family on a vegan diet and represent compassion for animals. Even as a trained expert in the field of nutrition, I had insecurities and questioned whether this was the right thing to do because I lacked the support from family and friends. Fast forward many experiences and plenty of time, you'll see that my daughter is thriving on a vegan diet, and I'm no longer afraid to take a stand for what I believe in. I created the Vegan Kids Nutrition Podcast to share with you tips and insights so that you too can feed your vegan kids with confidence. If you're a vegan parent or one ready to begin the transition who wants to follow their values and feel proud of raising a vegan family, you're in the right place. As a reminder, the information presented on this podcast is for educational purposes only. Please consult with your healthcare provider before modifying your diet or making changes to the diet of a child in your care. All right, let's get started. How do I meet my child's iron needs? What are examples of plant foods that provide iron? How do I get my vegan child to eat their iron-rich foods like beans? If any of these questions have ever kept you up at night, then my dear friend, you and many other vegan parents are not alone. One of the biggest concerns, if not the number one concern of vegan parents, is how to actually meet their vegan child's iron needs while following an exclusively plant-based diet. And I get it. Iron is one of the nutrients we hear about a lot when it comes to childhood nutrition. You don't hear about making sure they meet manganese or potassium a lot. While these nutrients are essential in our child's diet, there's a very good reason iron is emphasized in online discussion boards, social media, and at your child's wellness visits. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about 3 specific strategies that you can implement at home to help meet your vegan child's iron needs. But before we talk about why iron is discussed a lot, I want to make sure we are all on the same page here in terms of what iron is. Iron is a mineral that the body uses primarily to make hemoglobin, which is a protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen throughout the body. And if you can imagine your vegan child growing, as they grow, they're producing more and more red blood cells to support their growth and development. Which brings me back to the topic of why iron is highly emphasized in children, and the reason being is because of childhood anemia, as it relates to iron deficiency, is highly prevalent in children, regardless of the diet they may follow. Simply put, anemia is when there aren't enough red blood cells in the body. Some children with mild anemia may be asymptomatic, meaning they don't show any signs and symptoms. But if you're wondering how to know if your child may be anemic, some of the common signs and symptoms of anemia are pale skin or pale lips, irritability, weakness, or very tired and requiring to nap frequently. If you're ever in doubt, speak to your healthcare provider about your concerns, and a blood test may be recommended to confirm. Now that we covered the reason iron is so important and what to look for in children who may be anemic, let's talk about how to actually meet iron requirements for your vegan child. The first strategy is to offer and focus meals around legumes like beans, lentils, and tofu. This strategy may sound a little obvious to some of you, but you'd be surprised at how many vegan parents overlook this simple and critical strategy when meal planning. Some parents often focus their attention on making sure vegetables and fruits are part of the meal. And while they're important and should be part of meals, they lack calories and iron to help support adequate growth and development. When we look at building meals for our vegan child, we want to ensure it revolves around iron-rich plant foods. This is the one key nutrient I want you to always keep in mind when you're planning and preparing meals for your kids. And perhaps you may be saying, okay, Karla, I'm just starting out solids with my baby. I don't even know where to start, and you're saying to focus meals around legumes. Well, I get it. This may already sound overwhelming, but hear me out, because I like to say that you're actually in the best position of all, because you get to set your baby's vegan feeding journey up for success by implementing this key strategy from the very start. If you need some ideas or inspiration, just take a look at my Instagram page. I share actual meals that are served my family, where each one of them focuses on iron-rich foods to show you what adequate meals for a vegan child looks like, including meals that follow the baby-led weaning approach. And this is something I teach you following a formula inside the Vegan Kids Nutrition Blueprint course, so that you learn how to create iron-rich meals using your own preferred foods and favorite meals. The second strategy is to include plant foods rich in vitamin C. If you're a member of the Vegan Kids Nutrition Blueprint course, then you already know how to actually implement this strategy into your family's meals. And the reason vitamin C is important with a diet centered around plant-based foods is because it helps better absorb iron from plant foods. There is a lot of misinformation out there about how the bioavailability, or the rate at which a nutrient is absorbed in plant foods, is not very good. I hear this all the time from actual nutrition experts who disagree that a vegan diet is not adequate for children because of this belief that nutrients in plant foods are not absorbed very well. To some extent, some nutrients like iron from plant foods are not readily absorbed, but the addition of vitamin C makes it a very easy and simple practice for the body to absorb iron. And this can be as simple as adding some strawberries to your kids' oatmeal, or even squeezing some lemon juice in your meals. Studies show that children who follow a vegetarian and especially a vegan diet actually show intakes of iron above the recommended levels, while studies show that iron stores in vegan children may be low, but within normal levels. In the most recent German VeChi youth study, children have iron intakes almost twice as much as that of non-vegan children. In fact, through this study, they found that the risk of iron deficiency in vegetarian and vegan children is quite low. And it's my professional opinion that it's because of plant-based diets naturally being high in foods rich in vitamin C from fruits and vegetables. So if there's anything that you take away from this episode, I want you to keep including fruits and vegetables to your child's meals to help them absorb iron from their diet. All right, moving right along with strategy number 3 is to cook and prepare food with cast iron cookware. Many vegan parents have often asked me about the efficacy of using cast iron pots in their home to help their vegan kids meet their iron needs. If you have one available to you and it's one you enjoy using, then certainly it's a great approach. There is mixed research around the efficacy of using cast iron pots in home cooking as a way to prevent and treat iron deficiency anemia. Some observational studies show that when used properly, foods consumed after being prepared in iron-containing cookware increases hemoglobin concentrations in children. Other studies show that there is no evidence showing that cast iron pots are effective in treating iron deficiency anemia. So while we need more research around this, I think it's also important to point out here that the majority of these studies are primarily conducted in developing countries, where perhaps acceptability of such cookware may be a limitation if it's not a traditional cookware used in these communities. But if you have one at home and it's something you enjoy cooking with, then there's nothing wrong in using iron-containing pots simply for the purpose of cooking enjoyment. There may be some nutritional benefits in using one when preparing meals for your vegan kids. All right, so to recap, these simple 3 strategies in helping your vegan kids meet their iron needs. Number 1 is to focus each of your daily meals around iron-rich foods, which primarily are going to be your legumes. Second is to include plant foods that provide vitamin C to help enhance absorption of iron from what your vegan child consumes at meals. And third, if you enjoy cooking with cast iron pots, that may be a good approach in helping your family meet your iron requirements. If you're interested in learning more about meeting your vegan child's iron needs, grab the Vegan Kids Cookbook with the link in the show notes. It features recipes that the entire family can enjoy with a focus on helping your infant, toddler, and or child meet their nutritional needs while following a vegan diet, especially iron needs. And to help you a little further, the digital cookbook includes a 3-day meal plan complementing the recipes in the cookbook. Alright, my friends, I hope that these simple strategies help you feel more at ease around meeting your vegan kids' iron needs. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.